constantly being negative, if you're always complaining and you're wondering why things aren't going your way, well, take a look at how you speak all the time. Take a look at how you're feeling all the time. I was so miserable and I was like, I can't stay stuck in this cycle of just going to work to get a paycheck and do it all over again and just have enough money to live. Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Big Sister B in the house. Today we are talking about the law of attraction and manifestation. If you guys have been following me, you know this is not my usual content. I normally stick to like fashion, beauty, lifestyle type of content, but this is something I've been wanting to talk about. I've just been really hesitant to talk about it honestly because you know, there have been people that I really love in my life that have shut this idea down and told me that I was being crazy, and I know it's real for me. So I just want to share my story, but full disclaimer, I'm not here to convince you of anything. If you don't want to believe in this, that's perfectly fine. I don't gain anything from you believing in it. I don't lose anything from you not believing in it. So I'm just really here to share my story and why I choose to actively practice being more intentional with my thoughts, and you know why I really go out of my way to try to manifest this life that I want for myself and make the best of being here on earth, you know. I also want to let you guys know that this is more of an intro general video, just introducing you to the concept of law of attraction. I already know that this is going to be an actual series, so if you're interested in learning about the vision boards that I do, the journaling that I do, how I script and visualize, I'm going to get more specific into those things later, but I didn't want to jump right into that without at least giving you some background on what even is this, because I don't feel like your vision boards can be as effective and you know your journaling can't be as effective if you don't know the basic concepts first. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. I asked you guys a while back about what questions you had in regards to manifestation. So I've compiled a list of those questions, but I also added in some things that I just felt might be necessary to share. So the first thing, super general, what is the law of attraction? The law of attraction, simplified, is the concept that whatever you put out, you get it back. You've heard this concept throughout your entire life and you probably didn't even really pick up on it, but sayings like birds of a feather flock together, that's basically saying, you know, you're hanging out with people who are like you because you're putting out the same vibe. Another example would be in a more religious sense, ask and you shall receive, just what you put out, you'll get back. And you've even heard things like attracts like. So we've heard these concepts our entire life, but you're not gonna have this breakdown in school. Like nobody's gonna tell you what that actually means. However, you kind of learned about it in school. So I think I learned about like quantum physics when I was in junior high, I wanna say. But basically, you learn that everything is vibrating at a molecular level. You are vibrating, this table I'm sitting on is vibrating, that chair over there is vibrating at a molecular level. Everything vibrates. So the vibrations that you're sending out, you're also getting back the same thing, because that's just how the law of attraction works. Like attracts like. So that's why it's so important when we say we want to be more mindful of the law of attraction in putting out good energy, because you're gonna get it right back to you. So if you're constantly being negative, if you're always complaining and you're wondering why things aren't going your way, well, take a look at how you speak all the time. Take a look at how you're feeling all the time. These things are going to come back to you in some form or fashion. It's called the law of attraction because it is a law. Just like there is a law of gravity, and that's why I put the disclaimer in the beginning, like I don't care if you believe in it or not, it's a law. Like you can say gravity's not real, but the law of gravity is still gonna work for you. So same with the law of attraction, you can say it's not real, but it's still gonna work for you. The whole reason why I'm doing this video is so you can be more intentional about how it's working for you and maybe be more mindful of your thoughts and seek to attract more good in your life. That's the purpose of me wanting to make this video, because I've done it for myself, and you know, I want to do that for other people as well. If I can change one person's life with that, then like I've done my job. There was a time when I was in college where I wasn't in the best place, and I had a friend who actually told me about the law of attraction. And at the time, I didn't really think much into it. It didn't sound crazy to me, but I was like, oh, that's cool, and I kind of brushed it off. 2 years later, I don't know what happened, but something clicked for me, and I was like, I need to be more aware of that. So a little story on how I started being more mindful. I don't want to say start using the law of attraction, because you're always using it, but I want to say when I started to actually believe in it, it wasn't very long ago. I was at rock bottom. And I think sometimes you have to be kicked down so far that you're like, I give up, and you kind of surrender to it. But I was in a really bad place. I was on antidepressants, I was on anxiety medication. I felt like I was just trapped in my body, to be honest with you, and that I was just on autopilot, and I felt like I had no purpose of living. Like, truthfully, I felt like I had no purpose of living, and that's really scary to say. But I just remember, you know, I was working in that corporate job that I've talked about a lot, and just being so unsatisfied with where my life was going. And I'm like, wow, Bria, you're only like 23 years old and you're miserable already. And I was just so angry, because I was like, how? I did everything right. I went to school, I got good grades, I went to college, I got good grades, I got a job, I paid for everything myself, and I'm unhappy. I wasn't tapping into what I really love in life. I was doing what I thought was right, and I was so miserable. And I was like, I can't stay stuck in this cycle of just going to work to get a paycheck and do it all over again and just have enough money to live and do it all over again and pay the next bill cycle. That made me upset. One day I had a really big meltdown in the middle of the Atlanta airport. I will never forget it. It was the worst day ever, and I hate the Atlanta airport. It's literally purgatory. And I was having a panic attack in the bathroom, and I missed my flight because I was having a panic attack in the bathroom. And when I finally got on the plane, I just like couldn't stop crying, and I was like having this conversation with myself of like, how did I get here and why am I here? I'm so young, I can't be feeling this way. And I thought back to that conversation I had with my friend in college, and I was like, I'm all out of options. I might as well just try to like create the life that I want and be more mindful of my thoughts. So that's kind of how I started getting into the law of attraction myself and manifesting. I hit a very big rock bottom. I hope that you guys don't have to go through that too to want this for yourself, but you know, that's just what happened for me. And after that, I made sure that I was gonna do something every day to try to better my mindset. And every day it was like working a muscle. It was like going to the gym. I really had to break down subconscious beliefs. So this is my next point, is the term people always talk about manifesting with law of attraction. Manifesting is the process of bringing to life what you want. Okay, so the law of attraction is just the law of how it works. But then the manifesting part is like you actually setting the intention, okay, and then you actually doing the work and you actually bringing that to life, manifesting it, okay? It's not like rubbing a genie lamp. And I get so annoyed when people are like, well, I want $1 million, but I don't have it. That's not how it works. You manifest on a subconscious level. So what does that mean? It means that the thoughts that you're thinking that are buried way deep down, that you're probably not even aware of, that's what's actually manifesting your current situation. So let me break that down for you. For example, I had a lot of subconscious negative beliefs about money, okay, that I had to work through. Because hell yeah, don't we all want to be rich, right? But we're not all rich. Why is that? Because we've all kind of been programmed on a subconscious level that money is hard to get. Money only goes to certain people. So let me just explain my personal experience with that. I wasn't making jack shit last year. And this year it has been a complete 180. But last year I literally spent so much time digging into those subconscious beliefs of what were my fears with money. And here are some of my fears that were happening with money. I heard things growing up like, we don't have McDonald's money, like, you know, we don't have money for that, money doesn't grow on trees. I heard these things growing up, and while they're said with a very light heart, when you say those things, they're getting buried in your subconscious about how you feel about money. I also had some negative associations with thinking that rich people were greedy and that being greedy was bad. So subconsciously, I thought it was bad to be rich. And I wasn't actively aware of that until I like went through some courses, I talked to some mentors and broke these things down. So those are just a couple examples, but understand that you are manifesting on a subconscious level. That's where the work comes in. So now that you know you're manifesting on a subconscious level and it's not as obvious as you think, how do you retrain your subconscious? Okay, that's the hard part. That is the work, because it's not just saying, oh, I want $1 million. No, you've got to retrain your brain to think that you deserve the $1 million. You've got to retrain your brain to think that you should have it, right? I'm still working on this every day, but I can tell you the progress that I've made in a year with retraining my brain has been really significant. And it shows now. What are some things you can do to retrain your brain? So that's where all those little things I'm gonna break down in future videos come into play. The vision boards, okay? The vision boards are helping to retrain your subconscious, and it also allows you to put an intention out into the universe so that you can say, this is what I want. Vision boards are essentially like placing your order, okay? You give the universe your order and you say, this is exactly what I want, and the universe says, all right, I'm gonna go get that for you. Journaling is also another way that you can retrain your brain and work on building up better subconscious thoughts. I journal every morning. I like to think of these things as the same way I would my physical body. So when you go to the gym one time, are you gonna have your dream body? No, you have to go to the gym, you have to keep going to the gym, and then even once you have your dream body, you still have to keep going to the gym. So it's the same concept with manifesting and law of attraction. You have to think of your mind as a muscle, and that you have to do the work every day and then continue to maintain that through practicing journaling or affirmations or whatever it is you do. But just know that, like, it's not gonna happen for you overnight, because you have to like get rid of so many things that you've been programmed with through TV, movies, your parents, your friends. You gotta get rid of all that and get back to like your true self and your true beliefs. So as I said, those are just a couple examples of how to reprogram those subconscious thoughts in your mind so that you can actually start to actively manifest what you want. And like I said, we're gonna go deeper into those things in future videos. So if you want to stay tuned for that, make sure you subscribe. So now I wanted to go into the process of manifesting. I kind of like to break it down into these steps to make it easier to understand. The first thing that you do with this is set the intention. What is it that you want to have? Whether that is a new car or if it's a new job, you need to set the intention and you need to be as specific as possible. The number one mistake I feel people make with manifesting is they say something like, well, I want to be rich. But what does that even mean? When you say that and you speak that, the universe is like, okay, you want to be rich? Well, you're rich already. If you compared your current circumstances to a child in a third world country, they would probably think you're royalty. So you need to be specific, and that's where it gets uncomfortable, because it's like, well, maybe rich is $1 million to you and that makes you feel uncomfortable, but then you got to dig into why that makes you feel uncomfortable, because you're not going to get $1 million if you're scared of $1 million, if you don't think you deserve $1 million, if you think $1 million is too big. That's where the work comes in on the subconscious level. So first step, set the intention and know what you want and be as detailed as possible. The second part is like placing your order. So I like to say placing your order, because it's exactly that. It's like, what do you want? So you can do that through your vision boards if you like to see it. You could do that through journaling. There's so many ways you can place your order, but like I said, take that intention and write it down or put it out in some visual way. I think that's a really cool way to get it out, and it's very powerful. The third step, and the step that everyone thinks doesn't happen for some reason, is do the work. Okay, you're not gonna have all the answers on how to get exactly what you want. If you are asking for $1 million, don't worry about the steps, just do you. I know it's the hardest step, but keep going to work, keep doing what you do, keep creating. I didn't wake up every day like sure of what I was gonna do, but I just knew I needed to keep working. I don't know how to explain that. I hope that makes sense, but just keep doing the work. Keep trusting that your work is gonna pay off. Whatever your work is, just keep doing it, and listen to those intuitions you get. You know, if you're like, I should call this person and see how they're doing. You never know what that's gonna lead to. The universe works in mysterious ways. So just keep doing the work and trust that it's gonna happen for you. Believe it's gonna happen for you, okay? The last step, step number 4, is let it go. And this is also really hard for people and something I really had to work on. But I think when you're focused on the work, it's easier to let it go. But if you're just sitting there like, oh, when's it gonna happen, when's it gonna happen, you're sending out desperate vibes. And desperation, those vibrations cancel what you want. So let it go and trust that the universe has your back. It's gonna come to you. So for example, I like to think of it as, I'll give you this analogy. If AJ came up to me and said, what do you want for dinner? And I say, okay, can I have pad thai for dinner? And he says, yeah, I'll go out and get it. And he leaves the house. I'm not gonna keep calling him. Hey, are you back yet? Hey, did you get the pad thai yet? Hey, do you have enough money? He would be like, Bria, what is wrong with you? He would think I'm absolutely crazy. So don't do it with the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, treat it the same way, but like with your thoughts, let it go. And I find it easier to let it go when you distract yourself with work and just fall in love with what you're doing. Like, I get taken away by creating and I don't think about it, and then I'm like, oh, here's an email with an amazing opportunity, and things just start happening for me. And it's because I'm just focusing on the work, and I've let it go, and I've trusted that what I've asked for is gonna come to me. Then one thing you can do every now and then, this is something I do like in the morning as my maintenance for my mindset, I like to just revert back to that 5-year-old version of myself and play pretend. So that's where the visualization comes in, and I journal every day. I write out how I want my day to go. I write out these goals that I have, things that I want to obtain, and then I shut that book. I'll read it back to myself. I shut my journal and I close my eyes, and I picture myself having exactly that. I picture what would, if I wanted to manifest $1 million, how would I dress? How would I feel? What would it look like to open up my bank account and see $1 million? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put yourself in the scenario. You have to close your eyes and get there. And then you start to feel those feelings of happiness and the excitement of opening your bank account to $1 million. And that vibration is sending out what you want into the universe. And by law of attraction, it has to come back to you. So go back to that kid version of yourself and just let go. Have fun with just imagining what you want. Nobody's in your head. Nobody's listening to this. That's your power. That's your privilege. You get to play that role, whatever you want to be in this life, and just totally zone out. It's cool. So that's pretty much the gist of law of attraction and manifestation and how I got into it. One thing I really want to recommend to you guys, if you're new with law of attraction and this idea, watch the movie The Secret. I'll link it down below for you just so you can kind of get an idea of it. But that's the first movie I watched. I have a copy here, and it has been super life-changing for me, and it was really helpful just in breaking everything down. If you choose to be more intentional with this, I will say be careful about who you talk to this about. When I first started my journey with being more mindful. Not a lot of people around me understood it, and they made me feel crazy. So I don't want to say like don't tell people things, but just be careful about who you talk to. Like, not everybody is ready for this conversation, and not everybody agrees with it. A lot of people will try to be like throw religion into it. I also believe that in the Bible there's a lot of references to it in a lot of religions, but I only really know about Christianity, and things like you reap what you sow, asking you shall receive are some pretty clear examples of how even in the Bible it was talked about. So just do your own research, and in the meantime I'll be working on some other content in regards to this topic for you guys. I just can't wait to talk more about this with you, and I hope this kind of breaks it down for you in a clear way. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and of course be sure to like and subscribe to my channel because I definitely want to continue this conversation with you. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.